polytheism, monotheism.
Right.
So the polytheism, like many classical Indian traditions,
Lacks of
polytheism. The thing is that from that respect, we identify somebody as a god, Deva, Devi, and so forth, Indra, Brahma, and so forth. In Buddhism, these are accepted. These are accepted because the whole universe is divided into three categories, three divisions.
Okay.
The first is known as the Kamalok. Kamalok meaning the desire realm.
Okay.
Then the second level is higher, which is known as the form world, or known as the Rupalok.
Okay.
And then the third one is Arupalok, formless.
I don't know what, but some power, if not this earth is rotating.
Yes.
It can't happen. Some intelligence. Some people like to call it intelligence. Some people like to call it power. I call it Sit. Sit means the supreme, immortal power.
So if the question asks, what's the creator? So from the Buddhist point of view, is a network of causes and conditions as the creator, in other words, in simple terms, karma. Karma done by yourself in this life, in the past life, past life, and keep going back. Advaita Vedanta talked about, they don't really say that you are God, he is God, but it's the same when you realize this, the ultimate, then the duality dissolves.
Correct.
The non-duality is experienced.
Correct.
So that non-duality is actually the true nature of everything else.
As per Buddha also, karma always belongs to the mind.
Yes.
Do you say mind, or do you say mind, ego, intellect, or just mind?
No, just mind.
Very good. So very easy for people to understand in this podcast. I hope you appreciate.
Yes.
We are trying to help people understand the concept.
So the nature of the dirt is, as you said, avidya.
Yes.
Ignorance. So the counterforce should be wisdom.
Correct. What is the wisdom?
The wisdom is to see the reality which the ignorance cannot see.
What is the reality?
Very good question. This reality the Buddha taught in the form of the four seeds.
The purpose of life, we are born because of karma, and the purpose of life is to get Nirvana or Moksha. There is a purpose. Some people say there is no purpose of life. If there is no purpose of life, then there will be Dukkha, because in this world, in samsara, you have both.
Yes.
You have pleasure and pain. You cannot escape from both.
Yes.
Because we will do some good karma, we will do some bad karma.
And your podcast is a great platform.
Yes. Thank you. First, I'd like to give you a little book that I have written.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Gratitude of you giving us your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Spirituality is very secretive. No? It's very
Testament to the bottom life realizations of a yogi. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Geshe. Thank you so much for giving us time, and it's an honor to meet you. So first of all, I'd like to introduce Geshe Dorji Damdul. He is a very, very learned Buddhist monk and highly respected in his circles, a scholar holding this esteemed title of Geshe, a Tibetan Buddhist academic degree, just like you would call a PhD, but in Tibetan Buddhism. He's an expert in the Buddhist philosophy, very much somebody I've been waiting to talk to, particularly in what is known as the middle way philosophy, which is central to Buddhism. He has been blessed to serve as a translator for His Holiness for Dalai Lama for many, many years. So he has been the translator to the Dalai Lama, His Holiness, for many years. Currently, he is here as the director of the Tibet House, and this is a cultural center of the Dalai Lama, His Holiness, in Delhi. He has also authored and contributed to several books and papers on the Buddhist philosophy. So I hope I have not missed anything, and today it's really nice to meet you. I have done several podcasts with Hindu saints and sages and philosophers, even scientists, but something made me feel the need to talk to somebody so wise like you, because in my awakening on the 31st of August 2014, I awakened with a lot of the Buddhist teachings. For me, the Buddha, his ability to renounce and go on a search. So I also went on a talash. Talash means, you're familiar with the Hindi words or not so much? So talash means search. I went on a talash and I woke up to realize I am not I. So my name was Ravi, and then I became Atma in Ravi. Atma means soul. So they call me AiR. Atma and Ravi, they all call me AiR. So I thought I will ask you a little bit on the Buddhist concepts of what is life, what is happiness, what is God. I'll ask you some of the terms on Buddhism. But first of all, in the Buddhist philosophy, so what is the purpose of life? Because the Buddha, he kept silent about some things. He kept silent about the soul, which we will talk under the concept of Anatta. I'd like to ask you afterwards. And he also didn't talk much about God. Neither he said God like we talk Hindu, Krishna, Shiva. No, he kept quiet. But he never said, I believe that God does not exist. I don't believe him specifically saying. But he talked about Dukkha, overcoming desire and suffering. So can you tell me a little bit about the Buddhist central teachings about life, happiness and God?
I remember His Holiness the Dalai Lama, 2008, when His Holiness was invited to give a public talk in Delhi University. So always after the talk there's a question and answer session. And one girl, young girl, stood up and asked His Holiness, what's the purpose of life? And this is exactly the question that you asked me now, the purpose of life. His Holiness, without second thought, His Holiness said that every day we live in hope, and we hope for happiness. The genuine happiness is the purpose of life. So this is what His Holiness said. And now to elaborate this is more from very secular context. In fact, I would say that before religion, what is important is the secular context should not be missed. Whole purpose, all these religions came into being in order to serve the humanity, serve the sentient beings, serve the world. And the world is not that I'll help you provided you follow me. This is not the point. I'll help you because you are suffering. Because the gods and goddesses, deities, they don't look for followers. They look to help. So who needs help, they should be there. So that is a basic principle. So with this in mind, the purpose of life is to begin from what in secular context we aspire. For example, COVID-19 taught us that we are all the same. We're all the same. Whatever religion that we're following, whether a believer or non-believer, everybody is the same. Everybody's craving to get vaccine. And controversies come later. Once you get the vaccine, then the controversies come later. That's a different story. But we have been protected by the vaccines, to be very honest. I'm not the advocator of the vaccine. What I'm saying is that everybody was scared of this COVID-19. Everybody.
Yeah. The whole world shut down.
Whole world. Yeah. So this is not on one religion shut down. Other religions are, no.
good, yeah.
It's everybody shut down. That is the secular.
Yeah. All of humanity.
All human beings. Yeah. So that is the meaning of the understanding things on that level, that we all one. Yeah. That is what I call as the secular.
Beautiful.
So in this context, we all one in seeking happiness and not wanting miseries. This is reality. Then the next, if this is what you are seeking, all religions, no matter what, they are, at least in principle, they are supposed to provide you with what you want. You want happiness, you don't want suffering. So the maximum happiness and the zero suffering. So that should be the whole purpose. So now, how to attain that? That then becomes your dharma. That then becomes your spirituality. Then that becomes your journey. So here we see that the purpose of life is the lasting happiness, correct, or zero misery that we are seeking.
Very beautiful.
And how to attain that?
Yeah.
That is your journey. That journey is the journey of spirituality. And some people, you believe in God, you don't believe in the God. You believe in karma, you don't believe in karma. It's fine. At least we have to start from the scratch, start from the beginning. The beginning is that we should become a good person, not to disturb others. Not to disturb others. Including not to disturb animals. Including not to disturb the world, ecology. If you don't know these things, then religion is far from your mind.
Very beautiful, very beautifully said.
So this is something that we need to remember.
Practical. What you said is very lovely, beautiful start to it. So you're saying that the purpose of life is essentially to find lasting happiness.
Yes.
Not just pleasure. You're not talking about some pleasure.
Not pleasure.
Yeah, we'll touch this a little bit more later.
Exactly.
So in the Buddhist philosophy, which means everybody wants peace and happiness. Correct? Peace is also an important aspect.
Exactly.
Though you didn't mention.
Very important.
But quickly we will close this concept of God and then go forward. I would like to talk to you on happiness and on karma. I'd like to touch these.
Yes.
But what did the Buddha say about God?
Okay. So with respect to God, the God is the English word.
Yep. The creator or the supreme power.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there is a polytheism, monotheism.
Correct.
So with the polytheism, like many classical Indian traditions,
lacks of
polytheism.
Yeah.
The thing is that from that respect, you identify somebody as a god, Deva, Devi, and so forth, Indra, Brahma, and so forth. In Buddhism, this is accepted.
Accepted.
This is accepted because that when I speak about the god or the Deva on that level, on the level of the polytheism. So on that level, say the whole universe is divided into three categories, three divisions.
Okay.
The first is known as the Kamalok. Kamalok meaning the desire realm.
Okay.
Then the second level is higher, which is known as the form realm.
Form world.
Form world, or known as the Rupalok.
Rupalok. Okay.
And then the third one is Arupalok, formless. So there are three of these, and the beings who are samsaric meaning
worldly.
They are not really worldly as such, who are not liberated from samsara completely.
Okay.
So those beings, as long as you're not liberated, you have to be in one of these three places.
Okay.
Say some, they're very crude, whose mind is directed outside completely for sensual desires. They take birth in the Kamalok.
Okay.
And those who are more internalizing
Yeah.
in your meditative experience. So these people who having the reached high level of the meditative concentration, then they take birth in the Rupalok, form realm. And then even more finer, and then all these distinctions at this moment is redundant. Then finer meditative experiences one achieves will attain the Arupalok. So the Indra, Brahma, they all fall under the category of the Rupalok.
So they are also human beings who are
not human beings. They were Devis.
Okay. But Arupa means they have no form.
Rupa.
Okay.
Indra, Brahma, they
have Rupa.
They have Rupa.
Okay.
Rupa. And this is the individual beings.
Yeah.
And who have tremendous power. Tremendous power from the Buddhist point of view.
Yeah.
And then whereas in terms of the creator, like somebody who decides the whole thing. So there, and the Buddha categorically told that it was actually in Cambridge, 2004, 2003, when I was in Cambridge, for my English proficiency. I used to meet a lot of professors and particularly physicists, because I was now getting older, was interested in physics, and I was thinking of becoming a physicist when I was in my 20s.
Okay.
Not 20s, in the late teenage. So because of this, I used to meet a lot of physicists, and there was one physicist extremely bright in Cambridge, and then we became close and extremely intelligent and quite, I would say, what's the word? Reticent? Not really reticent, but a little extreme, his thinking. So what he said was that in this world only physics is education. And I said, why? He said, because that only physics allows you to have a critical thinking. All others are imitation of the earlier teachers. Then I said, wait what the Buddha has to say. Listen to what the Buddha has to say. And then I cited the quote, what the Buddha said. The bhikshus, meaning the monks and the wise people, just as the goldsmith tests the purity of the gold by cutting, rubbing and burning the gold, you should also examine my words and put them to practice, not simply because you respect me. And he remained silent for a few seconds. And he said, oh, the Buddha must have been a great physicist. So what I'm saying, this is the Buddha's approach. In fact, he discouraged us to be following blindly.
Yeah.
So where, in other words, we have to follow with the rational thinking and your experience. Experience and rational, these two should go together.
Correct.
There should be no room for the blind faith. So having said this, there's a tremendous emphasis on the study of philosophy because you have to know the reality.
Correct.
Because that you should be driven by the wisdom, not by blind faith.
Absolutely.
So for the wisdom, you need to know the ontological reality. Wisdom means a mind whose apprehension of the object tallies with the reality. So reality means ontological reality. So you have to remove all the biases. Oh, that he said like this, she said like this. If this is your baggage with which you come, you already have the superimposition.
Correct.
With this, you cannot see the reality.
Correct.
So the reality means that you have to remove your biases and then go into analysis. Then you will see the reality. So this is the focus, because of which there's a tremendous emphasis on the reality, ontological reality. Meanwhile, so this reality, who should know this reality? Your psyche, your mind,
yeah. Your intelligence, your
let's say, in a loose sense, let's say your mind, your subject.
Yeah.
So this mind, you have to know the map of the mind.
Yep.
You have to know the mind so well. For this, Buddha taught so much on psychology. He taught so much of philosophy to know the ontology,
yeah.
and so much on the psychology to know the subjective mind.
Correct.
So these two combined together can eradicate all the avidya, ignorance.
Correct.
And then you will be enlightened.
Correct.
So this is the basic principle. From that point of view, when you look at the ontological reality, then the Buddha taught that ontologically speaking, how the whole universe is operating is on the basis of cause and effect relationship.
Correct.
Dependent origination. For example, like today, what you are today, from your body came from your parents,
yep.
Your parents' grandparents. Then go back to 0.3 million years ago, Homo sapiens. Go back 4 billion years ago, yeah. The unicellular organism. Go back 4.6 billion years ago when the water first came on the planet Earth. Go back 15 billion years ago when the whole universe started from the singularity, Big Bang. And then beyond this, Professor Roger Penrose, Professor Michio Kaku. Roger Penrose, Nobel laureate in physics, and Michio Kaku, his level, the Nobel laureate level. So they were talking about Big Bang is not the origin of the universe. Many physicists claim that it is, but they identified there are so many flaws. If you accept that as the starting point of the universe, there's something before this. So you go like this. This is known as the network of cause and effect. So network of cause and effect means that is all you can trace. Things should be traceable ad infinitum in the past. So this is known as interdependent origination. So if the question asks, what is a creator? So from the Buddhist point of view, is a network of causes and conditions as a creator, in other words, in simple terms, karma. Karma done by yourself in this life, in the past life, past life, and keep going back.
Very beautiful. No, we can go on and on this matter. All I'm saying is, I would respond to a few points you spoke about. First of all, I also respect physics because physics is scientific, right? But in 2022, you must be knowing then, since you are so keen on physics, 3 physicists were given the Nobel Prize in their work on quantum physics, where they said that this whole world is nothing but energy. They spoke of the wave-particle duality. I'm sure you're familiar with this. So which means that although you are sitting in front of me, you are made of 35 trillion cells. And every cell of your body is energy. Even this table is ultimately energy. I hope we are on the same point. I don't believe in a God with name and form. And I also like what the Buddha said. Buddha will talk of these terms later. He spoke of apo dipo bhava, right? Go inside, and what you said, keep on going and finding out cause, effect, cause, effect, cause, effect, and find out. Don't believe what any religion says, but you realize you must be enlightened with that. And that's why what I was asking you is whether the Buddha gave a specific answer about God or he was quiet. Did he like, for example, in Hinduism, they speak of Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, then they speak of Rama, Krishna. Now there is no connection. Now if you try to build a logical connection, first of all, in practical thinking, we have only record of maximum 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 years, because written history is only for this period of time. I hope you agree with me. Beyond that, it is all inference, presumption. It is not something that has been written and recorded, right? So I am not trying to should I leave this point here that the Buddha was quiet about who is God, where is God, what is God? Or like in Sanatana Dharma. In the Sanatana Dharma, they say, I don't know whether you follow this duality and non-duality.
Yeah, Advaita.
So in Advaita, what we believe, that God is everywhere. You are God. He is God. So every individual is a manifestation of the divine. So did the Buddha speak about Advaita, or did he just keep quiet? I will move after this. I don't want to get stuck on this point. So what would you say in brief should we conclude?
I would say that the number one, that the people believing in Krishna, Ram and so forth, we have no right to say that they're wrong. We have no right.
No, we're not having a right.
Number one.
Yeah.
Because we have to respect that.
Absolutely.
Then the next point is that, is it possible, for example, like Krishna being born as a prince or Ram being born as a prince? That's amazing, very possible. From Jesus Christ, born as a person, like the Lord Mahavir, born as a prince, is very possible. And then, respected by everybody, becoming revered as God. That's perfect. There's nothing wrong in it. So this is one point.
Yep.
Then the next point that I'd like to share with you is that so with respect to the Buddha, whether Buddha taught about this, there's a God or no God or remain silent. This is your question. So the point is that for example, say Advaita Vedanta talked about, they don't really say that you are God, he is God, but it's the same. When you realize this, the ultimate, then the duality dissolves.
Correct.
The non-duality is experienced.
Correct.
So that non-duality is actually the true nature of everything else.
As per Buddha also?
No. First I'm talking about
Advaita. Yeah.
So from that point of view, when we see that you are a part of that, he's a part of that, she's a part of that.
Everybody.
That is the divine.
Correct.
That's the divine. So there are very similar concepts in Buddhism.
Okay.
And that your true nature of the mind, is so pure. We don't see your true nature because it is like the water, dirty water. It's not drinkable, muddy water, but you subject this water to purification, reverse osmosis, ultrafiltration, then all the dirt removed and the purity manifests. So that purity is within the mind of every single sentient being, human beings, animals, insects, everyone has this. Okay. So on that level, everybody is on the same level, same plane. No one is inferior, no one is superior. Everybody is superior. So that is the divine, ultimate divine. So there, now that quality of the divinity.
Yes.
From the Buddhist point of view, that quality of the divinity is seen as impermanent entity, meaning the momentary, and it is dependent entity, not independent. So the difference is that in the Advaitin point of view, that divinity is permanent.
Okay.
It is independent.
Okay.
It is independent. So that is the difference. Okay. So what is important? So on that level, I would say that the scholars and the practitioners who actually manifest these experiences, if they meet and discuss, that would be very helpful. Otherwise, I would say that it can become pure theoretical. It will become very theoretical. So from that point of view, I would say that in terms of the creator God, then the Buddha very clearly indicated that as a creator, it is your own karma which created, which
cause and effect.
Yes.
But there must be some power, right? He obviously, we don't know who, we don't know what, but some power. If not, this earth is rotating.
Yes.
It can't happen. Some intelligence. Some people like to call it intelligence. Some people like to call it power. I call it SIP. I call SIP. SIP means a supreme immortal power. And you can call it Rama or Shiva or Jesus. That's okay. We respect everybody's. The way they pray to that power may be different. But so you're saying Buddhist and Advaita are very close.
They are close.
Yeah.
Close.
Except that Advaita thinks of that realization as being permanent, but in Buddhist, that also fluctuates.
Fluctuates.
It's impermanent.
It is impermanent and it is dependent.
Why dependent on what?
So it is dependent on the cause and effect.
Okay. Again, back to karma.
Back in cause, yeah.
Okay, I think so. Good enough. So we'll move on. We'll move forward. So then let's touch the topic of karma. Okay. So when we do karma, you do karma, I do karma, everybody does karma. In the Hindu philosophy, there is rebirth, correct? So in the Buddhist, also you believe in rebirth?
Yes.
There is no difference in that?
No difference.
But body will die.
Body will die.
Who will be reborn as per the Buddhist?
So in Buddhism, we see what we have. For example, say what I have here is I have a body, and I have my mind. So on the basis of the body, you describe yourself as male, female, Tibetan, Indian, and so forth. On the basis of your mind, you describe that you are compassionate, you are intelligent, and so forth. So who you are is simply the coming together of these two things together, the body and the mind.
Correct.
For example, say the table. Table is the top plank and the legs.
Correct.
Combined together, then we see as a table.
Correct.
So there's a concept of what is known as the mental projection, imputation. So, say the self, the body is not the self,
Correct.
Your mind is not the self, but there's no different self also. This self is mentally imputed, on the basis of your body and the mind. So this what is imputed as a self, which is not the body, which is not the mind, that self, or in other words, to make it very simple, the mind, the body and the mind, body is left behind, and mind travels to the next life.
Correct. Yeah. So in the Advaita philosophy, so I'm referring to Advaita. You're comfortable with Advaita,
Very
right?
comfortable.
So in Advaita, they say the gross body and the subtle body.
Yes.
In the subtle body, they say mind, intellect, memory, ego. Doesn't matter. It's the subtle. In the computer, they say hardware and software.
Yes.
But in the computer, you need hardware and you need software.
Yes.
But without electricity, can you play the computer?
No.
So this body has got hardware and software, and in Advaita, it also has electricity. And the electricity is what they call soul. I define the soul S-O-U-L. I say spark of unique life. It's a spark. Now, just quickly to say, so if I die tomorrow, I don't die, my body dies. But what you say, the self, this is what in Advaita we call self-realization. Self-realization, I am not this hardware. The mind and ego carries karma and it is reborn. I am not even that. I am the spark of, whether you call it spark, life, energy, shakti, whatever you call it. So this is the rebirth. So when the body dies, the mind, the sukshma shari, the subtle body will be reborn. So also in Buddhist is the same thing.
So in Buddhist, say, okay, before we get the description of this, what we say, particularly for your audience who are more academic or who are more mentally active, intelligent, for them I have to give one understanding, that the philosophers, they are on the two sides. One side who believe in pure, the objective reality.
Yeah.
And then on the other extreme is who believe in pure subjective reality.
Correct.
So Advaita Vedanta, it is more like, say, partly from the point of view of the Maya, and they are more into the subjective. From the point of view of the soul, they are more into the objective.
Okay.
Whereas in Buddhism, precisely the highest Buddhist philosophy known as Prasangika, so whose concept, and as I said earlier, the Advaita Vedanta to some extent is similar, that Prasangika Buddhist philosophers, they go to the other side of the pure subjective reality.
Okay. And
so the subjective reality means your body is not self, your mind is not a self, then there should be something different. This is not accepted.
yeah, there is no self.
No.
In
Self
the
is there.
Okay.
Self is there.
Okay.
Self is, for example, table is there.
Yeah.
Table, top leg is not the table.
Yeah.
The leg is not the table.
Correct.
You remove these two, there's no electricity like a table.
Okay.
Still there's a table there. Undeniable table is there.
Yeah.
Once dismantled, the table makes no sense.
Correct.
It's
So
not
if the
that,
body and mind is dismantled,
say
there's no self, is what you say.
No. Self is there.
Okay.
Say the body is left, then the mind travels.
Correct.
But the mind travels, again mind take another body.
Okay.
Again the congregation comes into existence.
Correct.
The self comes into being. But the self is no third entity. Body,
that's-
mind and the self.
There's no
Separate
third entity.
There's no third entity side. It's simply going to the subjective side.
Very good.
What your mind rejects.
Very good. So I hope you don't mind. We are discussing we are going on the good way, right? We are okay.
Perfect.
So in Advaita philosophy, the body will die. In the Buddhist also body will die. In Advaita, mind will be reborn. In Buddhist also mind will be reborn.
Yes.
In Advaita, we believe in Atma.
Yes.
In Buddhist, you say Anatta. I want to understand it after next point. But Atma is soul. In Advaita, Atma becomes one with Paramatma.
Yes.
The wave becomes one with the ocean.
Exactly.
Otherwise, how does death happen? Why does death happen? So I also want to touch that point, if you can explain. So when the soul leaves, it leaves the body dies. And the body dies and the soul merges with the Supreme. Then this mind and ego, we also say me, M-E, the mind and ego,
Yes.
carries karma and is reborn. If you have good karma, you'll be born in a prince. If you don't have good karma, you may be born as a beggar. We're not going to get into that. So can you please touch now probably the point of how does death happen, and if there's no third entity, then what is Anatta? What is the meaning of Anatta? Maybe then we will link it together.
Wonderful. So it is like this. Say that what is death in the first place?
Yeah.
Death is when the body and the mind, these two are separated.
Why? How?
Because the karma for the mind to be with this body as your vehicle.
Yeah, it's
that
over.
karma stopped. So the disconnected.
Good.
That is death.
But there's no energy. You don't believe there's an energy inside.
There's a third energy. No.
No.
It is the karma.
So you call this as karma. Whatever.
So the karma is the inner will, the potential
Yeah.
of the mind.
Yeah.
Potential mind. There's no third energy there outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. And then so death happens, very beautifully said. So when the mind separates from the body as per the karma, the time of the
When
karma,
the karma exhausts.
whatever. And then the mind takes a new birth.
New birth, yes. New body.
Okay. So the karma always belongs to the mind.
Yes.
Do you say mind or do you say mind, ego, intellect, or just
No,
mind?
no, just mind.
Very good. So very easy for people to understand in this podcast. I hope you appreciate.
Yes.
We are trying to help people understand the concept.
Yes.
So what is Anatta then?
Okay. So this is interesting. Let us say flower.
Flower.
Let's say flower. It's so beautiful. Say the flower is nothing but made of cells.
Yes.
Cells are nothing but made of the chromosomes.
Yes.
Chromosomes are nothing made of DNA molecules. And these are made of the atoms. So on the atomic level, there's no flower.
It's all energy.
No. Let's not go to the level of energy.
Okay, you're saying atoms.
So on the level of the atoms.
Okay.
Even we can go even the grosser than that.
Yeah.
So let's say on the atomic level.
Yeah.
It's just a pool of atoms.
Even you are a pool of atoms.
I'm a pool of atoms.
Correct.
So it's just a pool of atoms.
Yeah.
And then on that level, there's no flower.
Correct.
But say the same object which we see as a flower, imagine that there's somebody looking at it through electron microscope.
Yeah.
And you are looking at it with your naked eyes.
Yeah.
If you ask, if I ask you,
Yeah. I see flower.
okay, let's say you are looking at it through electron microscope. No, not
I
flower,
see
just
atoms.
a pool of atoms.
Yeah.
Ask me, oh, this beautiful flower.
Right.
It's the same objects seen in two different perspectives.
Correct.
And
Right.
this is reality.
Okay.
We cannot deny this.
Absolutely.
So now, what I am seeing is from distance. My eyes are very crude. Whereas what you are seeing is seeing very close. With close inspection, the flower does not make any sense.
Correct. Agreed.
From distance, it makes sense. Anatta meaning objectively, from the close, objectively, there's no flower. Anatta, there's no flower.
There's nothing.
There's no flower.
Okay.
So what is there?
Yeah.
What is it? We call it indescribable. You cannot say that there's a flower there, there's absence of flower there. So this reality is known as indescribable reality. That is anatta.
But anatta does not mean no atma.
No, that's not true.
Okay. So people mistake it to be.
People mistake it.
Yeah.
So many people, they think that, oh, Buddhism does not accept self. Buddhism does not accept the
So
person.
what is self as per Buddhism?
Self is the functional phenomena which a mind imputes as a being based on its basis of designation, meaning based on its parts, the body, the mind come together. Say just pool of atoms. There's no flower there. From distance you see a flower. That's a flower.
So the self is the coming together of pool of atoms.
Coming together of the pool of atoms and the mind.
Yeah. Is a self.
The mind coming together, and then your mind is imputed.
Yeah.
Don't just leave it there. That is a self. There's not a self.
The mind is.
Your mind imputes it. For example, say okay, Ravi, I'll ask you the question. What are you seeing? Just a pool of atoms, and I'm seeing a flower. And I ask you, say now I remove the electron microscope. I ask you, what did you see?
So it becomes
You
a
say
flower.
just a pool of atoms.
So
What did you see?
I
I saw a pool of atoms.
Yeah.
So what about the flower? There was no flower.
Yeah.
You getting it? Now you remove the electron microscope, the flower came back.
Correct.
Where is this flower? Is it on the atoms or outside the atoms?
No, it is the atoms.
No, where? No, atoms
In
don't get
my
the flower.
eyes. In my eyes, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So on the atomic level, there's no flower.
Yeah.
None of the atoms have flower.
And on a natural level, there's no atoms.
Now even the atoms can be again discussed further. So remove the electron microscope, then you see this flower. My question is, where is this flower? Where was this? On the atoms or in your eyes? When I ask this question, then you have to say that it is not on the object.
It's on the subject.
The moment I remove the electron microscope, then my mind starts to see that.
Yeah.
It's purely subjective. Yet it is undeniable, the presence of the flower. So this is known as undeniable functionality to the world.
Yeah.
Objectively, there's nothing there, but it operates in the illusion-like.
So is the flower also there is self, or there is no self because there is no mind, or there is
No, the flower is not a self.
only human beings.
Animals,
Animals have,
humans, yes. Even the tiny insects.
but they don't have full intellect, but they have self.
So the point is that, so they have the mind. The mind is trapped in their body.
Okay.
And the body, how sophisticated the body is, that determines how active your intellect is.
So only the
And-
human being is the highest sophisticated body.
From our perception, yes.
Okay.
Then the Deva Devis are there.
Okay.
They are even more high. They are higher than, better than us. So, for example, like we think that they don't have intellect, and actually it's not true. It is our bias
About what?
about that the insects, animals, they don't have the intellect.
We think they have only instinct.
This is our bias.
Wrong imagination.
Wrong imagination. How? I'll explain this.
Yeah.
Say, for example, you are a gymnast. which you have extremely flexible body, a contortionist, very flexible body, and I put you in a very heavy spacesuit. I ask you to perform your skills. You cannot perform.
Yeah.
You're trapped in this body. As long as you are trapped in this body, you cannot perform your skills. Okay. So although your mind has a tremendous capacity, even the mind of the insect has a tremendous capacity. As long as that is trapped in that insect body, it cannot display these skills.
And why they are born as an insect or a dog or a frog? Because of karma.
Because of the karma.
And
negative karmas.
Yeah, and you believe that as karma, a human being can become an animal.
Yes.
And what is enlightenment then?
Enlightenment.
You call it Nirvana, correct?
Nirvana.
In Advaita Vedanta, we call it Mukti and Moksha.
Mukti, Moksha. Yes.
What is the difference because the Buddha, he said the goal of life is Nirvana, also correct?
Buddhahood.
Buddhahood.
Yes.
Is it different from Nirvana?
These two are slightly different.
Explain this, please.
Okay. So basically, it is like they say, I finished my school and I finished PhD. I finished my college. This is good. I finished my PhD. This is also good. But PhD is a very specialized level of PhD is also a part of your university program. But you did a master's, you said I did my university. You did a PhD, I did my university. It's same, but within that there are levels.
Okay.
PhD is higher and the master's is a little lower.
Right.
Likewise, Buddhahood is the complete enlightened Bodhi.
What happens in that state?
In that state, say the basic idea is that everybody, whether you are a believer or non-believer, you are a human being, non-human being, whether you are a Buddhist, non-Buddhist, it doesn't matter. Everybody has the seed of Bodhi.
Bodhi means?
Bodhi meaning awakening.
Correct.
So, in other words, to give a simple example, everybody has 1 kg diamond. Everybody. But that diamond is covered by the dirt.
Avidya.
The dirt.
Yeah.
And what is that dirt? Avidya.
Okay.
Primarily avidya and the stains. So now, when you remove the dirt partly, that is Nirvana. Nirvana in general.
Okay.
Remove the dirt completely, that is the most refined Nirvana.
Okay.
Most refined Nirvana, which is the Bodhi or Buddhahood.
Okay.
So Buddhahood is a Nirvana, but the highest level of the Nirvana.
So Nirvana it starts getting the realization, starts the starting of enlightenment, but the highest enlightenment is with the Buddhahood.
So in simple terms, when you attain Nirvana, you are freed from samsara.
Samsara means the cycle of rebirth?
Or yes, cycle of rebirth.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So Nirvana is freedom from the rebirth.
Freedom from rebirth.
And how do you, according to the Buddhist, how do you get this Nirvana?
Okay, that's a good question. So as I said earlier, Nirvana, Buddhahood, all they are within each one of us in the form of seed.
Yes.
So our job, in other words, the diamond covered by the dirt.
Correct.
So how to attain Nirvana means how to remove the dirt and make the diamond inside manifest.
Correct.
So to remove the dirt, we have to apply the remedies.
Yes.
So the dirt, the nature of the dirt is, as you said, avidya.
Yes.
Ignorance. So the counterforce should be wisdom.
Correct. What is the wisdom?
The wisdom is to see the reality which the ignorance cannot see.
What is the reality?
Very good question. This reality the Buddha taught in the form of the 4 seals. 4-line teachings. First line says, all composite things are impermanent. This is the first one.
Yeah.
Then it takes you to the next. All contaminated things are of suffering nature. Number 2. Okay, so we are in suffering, means my, you, my, everybody's diamond like the potential amazing treasure is covered by the metal dirt. So therefore we suffer. Now all contaminated things are suffering nature. Suffering is because of the contamination. Mind is covered by the contamination. Remove the contamination. How to remove? By the wisdom. Because the contamination is the nature of the ignorance. Counterforce should be wisdom. What is that wisdom? Then the Buddha taught the 3rd line. Everything is the nature of Shunyata and Anatta. Atman. Meaning that objectively, like in dream you see dream is real, because of which you are trapped in the dream. The moment you discover that this is dream, is not real, you wake up. You wake up, you see the reality of the dream. Then you are not affected by the dream ghost.
Yeah.
So the knowledge of Anatman, knowledge of the Shunyata, meaning that objectively there's nothing there. Objectively, everything is like illusion. If you know that, then that is the wisdom which removes the mental dirt. Mental dirt is removed, then the mind manifests its true nature. So the example given, true nature, the first part is to remove you from having to take birth in the cycle of birth. You'll stop that. Then the next is that then subtle stains are left there, like they say somebody smashed garlic in my mug, and I say I don't take garlic, and then you said I'm very sorry I did it, and you remove the garlic, wash it so well, and there's no trace of garlic left. I smell it, still smells garlic. So removing the dirt completely, but there's a subtle smell left.
Yeah.
That is the one which stops you from attaining Buddhahood. So although you already removed the garlic, like solid garlic, but remove solid garlic will help you to be free, to be liberated from having to take cycle of birth. Then they remove the subtle stain, smell of the garlic. That will make your mind to manifest its true nature.
Yeah.
What is the true nature of the mind? This is the next question.
Absolutely.
So for this, Arya Nagarjuna, 1st century AD, great Indian master, who is being respected by the Western philosophers even today. 2000 years ago, he said, and the brilliant Western philosophers today, they respect him so much. So he gave a beautiful analogy in his text known as Dharmadhatu Stava, the praise of the Dharmadhatu. So where he said that, give the metaphor, a beautiful metaphor. Say, in a room, so you want to read books. In the night, you want to read books, and I said, you go to room A. In the room A, there's a light there, beautiful light there. You go there, it's totally dark. You come back and said, no, there's no light, it's dark. I said, no, there's a light there. Did you see a picture? You say, yes, I saw something pictured there. The light is inside there. So this light was so beautiful but trapped in this picture. So how do you know there's a light there? You'll tell me. I said, punch a hole from any direction. You punch a hole and the light inside will beam forth. Now if you want to see that the light is the true nature of this light, pervades everywhere freely. Freely is enlightenment. This word, freely. Break the vase, break the picture. And the light inside, what is trapped before, will just move freely across every atom of the universe. That is full awakening. This is enlightenment.
A very beautiful analogy, but how will people understand? Suppose today somebody wants to follow Buddhism and somebody has understood up to here whatever you've spoken about. Okay, this body is born because of karma. Yes. If there was no karma, then there will be no birth.
Yes.
You agree with up to it, right?
Yes.
So we have come to this world because of karma.
Yes.
Then the body and the mind, only two. There is no soul. Correct. There's nothing. The body mind is trapped or working together. It is working in sync, and up to karma level, then the body dies and the mind comes back. If somebody wants to attain nirvana, they have to overcome avidya.
Yes.
And avidya is what? Avidya is overcoming ego, overcoming desires, the nothingness in this world, impermanence of this world. All these things are part of the avidya. What else? What are the specifics one must learn to get nirvana? There must be some 3, 4, 5 points.
Okay, so basically there's no 3, 4, 5 points.
Okay.
It's only 3, 4, 5 steps.
What are the steps?
Okay. So as I said, there are 4 lines.
4 lines. In simple words, what are those 4 lines?
In simple terms. First one is, remember that you are not a permanent entity. You will die.
1.
Impermanence.
Yes.
Number 2, we are suffering because of our mental contamination.
Karma, basically, right?
Avidya.
Avidya, okay. So impermanence, and we are suffering because of avidya.
They say the first of contaminations.
Okay.
You have to know this.
Okay.
Contaminations give rise to suffering.
Correct.
Then number 3, you have to know what is that avidya.
Yes.
How to get rid of this avidya? By knowing the ontological reality.
And what is that?
What is ontological reality? Everything is the nature of Shunyata and Anatta or Anatman.
Anatta and Atman, you are using both the same words.
Anatta is a Pali, Anatman is Sanskrit.
Okay.
So know this. In other words, what do you mean by knowing this? It is just to know that everything is everything. While everything exists, but they exist in a different way, different from how they appear to you.
Okay.
They appear to you in one way, but they exist in different way. For example, like dream.
Yeah.
Dream appear to you as real, objectively real.
Yeah.
But you wake up, then you
not.
realize that this was not objectively real. It's subjectively real. So it was in the dream you see it as real. When you wake up, you see it as not real.
So third step, and then the fourth step.
In fact, the third and the fourth, these two I said Shunyata and the Anatta too. So these two are combined together there.
Okay. So attaining this gives you Nirvana.
Yes.
And after Nirvana, you grow from Nirvana, become brighter and brighter and brighter,
yes.
and then you become Buddhahood.
Perfect.
This is very heavy.
Yes.
So we capture it correctly. So quickly, once again, explain the concepts of Shunyata and Anatta. Just quickly, as soon as you can. Okay. What is Shunyata? What is Anatta? For the sake of the viewers.
For the viewers, I would say the better for the viewers, not too complicated. We can just club the two.
Okay.
Club the two together.
Yeah.
Shunyata means empty.
Yeah.
Empty doesn't mean nothing exists. Many people think that this is the meaning. Many people, because of this, they think that Nagarjuna's philosophy is nihilist, meaning that Nagarjuna said nothing exists. This is the naivety. So what is emptiness? We have to know 5 points. Number one, okay, before the 5 points, emptiness is the meaning of dependent origination. Then dependent origination is the meaning of the middle way. So A equals B, B equals C. Therefore, from this you can deduce that A equals C.
Yep.
Emptiness is not nihilism, it is the middle way.
Yeah.
So how? Emptiness equals dependent origination. So the Buddha taught, don't just believe in me. You have to know. You have to use your common sense. Don't follow me blindly. So how do you justify that emptiness equals dependent origination? 5 points. First, emptiness. Shunyata, emptiness. What is meant by emptiness? Emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. Number two, meaning that when you say who, what is who, right? You don't know English. Who? No, I know English. It is a short form of World Health Organization. Like was emptiness not empty. Who is not who. It simply means World Health Organization, short form. So therefore, emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. So if you don't know this, one can be so naive to say that emptiness means everything is empty. So this is one's naivety.
Yeah.
So emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. Number two. Number three, emptiness of independent existence means nothing exists independently. Number three. Number four, nothing exists independently means everything exists by dependence.
Yeah.
Number five, everything exists by dependence means everything is dependently originated. So this is how emptiness equals the dependent origination. This is what first part. Second part, dependent origination means the middle way. How? Dependent origination has two sides, dependence and origination. Dependence, when we say dependence, it rejects independence. Independence and absolute. So it rejects the extreme of absolutism. Origination, other side. Origination means something comes into origination, something comes into existence. Existence opposite of which is non-existence, nihilism. So origination rejects the extreme of nihilism. Bringing the two together, dependent origination, reject the two extremes. Rejecting the two extremes is following the middle way. So this is how A equals B, B equals C, therefore A equals C, which means emptiness equals dependent origination equals middle way, therefore emptiness equals middle way. Emptiness is not nihilism. Emptiness is not empty. So this is, now the next is that how will this understanding help you to attain Nirvana? How will this help you to attain Buddhahood or Nirvana? So for this, what we need to know is that finally, as I said earlier, that the real enlightenment is not anywhere. It is right within us.
Yes. It is hidden inside.
It is hidden.
Yes.
It is hidden inside.
Yeah.
It's right there. Now our job is remove the mental dirt. Remove the mental dirt. And how to remove the mental dirt? So we see that within the mind, say sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are unhappy, and sometimes we are kind, sometimes we are unkind. Within the mind, we see that the mind, the map of the mind, if you look at the map of the mind, we see that the mind has innumerable facets, functions. Of these, we can broadly group into two. One, which gives us joys and happiness,
Yes.
which we seek. One which gives us miseries. Two. Now it's very interesting because that these are the two facets of mind, seeing emptiness, seeing dependent origination, which are like two sides of the same coin. So when you see emptiness, empty, it is like waking up. When you wake up, all the fears in the dream drops. So that this seeing the emptiness side, it removes all the negative emotions and all the fears drop. When you see dependent origination, your compassion grows because we see that I'm not an independent person. I have to depend on you. So this poor person, the homeless person, he is not to be insulted. He is not to be undermined. I depend on him because he's also part of this world. He's also part of this country, and this country successfully operates because of the public people's money. Because of the people, then the leaders, administrators, they can operate. They get the money from the tax of the tax paid by people. Dependent. I'm dependent on each of these shopkeepers, people who go to buy the groceries. I'm dependent on all of these that I can stay safely in India. All the borders, we have been protected by the soldiers. They are risking their life. And how did that? They say that because that there's the Indian government, major part of the money is spent on the defense.
Right.
So which means that we're protected because of that. And where does the money come from? Come from these. So in a way, that by understanding dependent origination, your compassion, your empathy, all these good qualities grow. So this is the harmony, the harmony of dependent origination and emptiness. When you see this, then your happiness multiplies and your misery is shut down. That is moksha.
See, what you've said is very profound, and for me also to digest it, even though I think I have realized so many truths, and I have written 85 books on spirituality, and it's very profound. I'm taking time to understand deeply. But if you have to explain this Buddhism and Nirvana to a common person, how would you explain it to just school, 10th standard school child in simple words? So somebody wants to be a Buddhist, somebody wants to be a monk. He says, Geshe-ra, I don't understand this interdependent origination, and I don't understand all these things. I want to understand in simple. Is there any simple way to understand?
Okay, what I was saying is that if I have only 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and a person doesn't want to hear all these complicated things,
Yeah.
I don't understand all these things, please tell me in simple words. What I would say, don't become Buddhist.
Yeah.
This will be my message.
Don't become Buddhist.
Don't become Buddhist.
Yeah.
Don't follow Buddhism. Don't become Buddhist. Be nice to your mother. Be kind to yourself. Don't deceive yourself. Keep growing.
So just be happy.
Be happy.
And don't be unhappy.
Not just be happy. Be happy. And even your happiness, there are many grades. Keep growing your grade, the happiness, by growing your virtues. Keep doing this.
It's very...
And this virtue you can get from anywhere.
Yeah.
Not only Buddhist. You can get it from anywhere.
Why I'm just telling you, because I don't exactly follow Advaita Vedanta, but I align to that thinking. I follow the truth. For me, whether you tell something or a master says or whoever says, it may be the highest, maybe the Pope, maybe anybody, with all due respect to whomever is there. If this is finger, I call finger. If you tell me it's a carrot, no, I cannot listen. It's a carrot.
Yes.
So in the truth of life, I'm just telling you a few things and see whether you have anything to say, because we shouldn't miss a point. We have taken the trouble of having this conversation. So the purpose of life, we are born because of karma, and the purpose of life is to get Nirvana or Moksha. There is a purpose. Some people say there is no purpose of life. If there is no purpose of life, then there will be Dukkha, because in this world, in samsara, you have both.
Yes.
You have pleasure and pain. You cannot escape from both.
Yes.
Because we will do some good karma, we will do some bad karma. So the cycle of samsara goes on. I think up to that point there's no problem. But in Advaita Vedanta, we believe or we realize that we are not this body. Even you believe this. This body is just a vehicle. This is what I think your words. But in Buddhist, we are the mind.
No, we are not mind.
Okay. So who are we then, in simple words?
Okay. This is okay. Before I address this, again you will come with your mind will not be clear.
Yeah.
So the best would be, I ask you, this is a book. This is your book. But this is not a book. First leaf is also not book. You keep going. Where's the book? Where's the book?
It's everything together. It's in your hand.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the point is that this per se is not book.
Yeah.
Remove it.
Yeah.
Second one is also not book. Remove it. Whatever is not book, just remove.
Yeah.
Finally, what is left?
Nothing.
Is left. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
The point is that, but while you go inside, nothing to be found to identify as a book. I show this undeniably. If you say there's no book, you are crazy. There's undeniable book.
It appears as a book.
Exactly.
So we call Maya. In Advaita, we call it.
Listen. It appears as book. So this undeniable reality, you cannot deny this reality. You're getting it?
Yeah.
So this is known as the infallible functionality of the world. If you deny this, this is just illusion, right? If you deny this, then even your practice becomes illusion.
Yeah, because if everything is illusion, then
exactly.
Yeah,
so this is undeniable reality. We have to accept it.
Yeah.
We operate on that level, purely subjective level.
Yeah.
So subjectively, say air is there.
Yeah.
Air, right?
And
Atman of Ravi, right? Air is just undeniable fact.
Yeah.
Air, a smart air is there, right? Your soul is not smart, right? Okay, this person is not smart. Air is very smart. This distinction is not there on the level of the soul.
No.
You're getting it?
Yeah.
But you are smart.
Yeah.
Undeniable fact. We cannot deny this reality. So this reality is not objectively there. Objective is just atoms. No atom is smart.
Yeah.
But this undeniable reality there, you're smart. There's an infallible conventionality there, but which is purely subjective.
Correct.
So what is self? What is self? Self is this undeniable appearance of the person which comes to your mind on the basis of the body and the mind of that person.
Which
That's
in
a
reality
person.
is nothing but Shunyata.
Which objectively, in reality, it is a person. But objectively, it is Shunyata.
But you're saying subjectively it is a person.
Subjectively, it exists as a person.
Why? Because I see you there as a person.
Yes.
But when you go into, this is what is enlightenment according to you, right?
That you see me as a person and others cannot deny this reality.
Yeah.
So two qualities should be there. Two attributes should be intact.
And so enlightenment is looking at it from the point of view, from the objective reality.
Empty from the objective reality.
So in Buddhism, we talk a lot about Dukkha. Dukkha is suffering. Would you like to say something about Dukkha?
Of course. So basically, the Buddha taught that the Four Noble Truths. Four truths.
Yeah. The world is full of suffering.
The first one is the truth of suffering. Meaning that, are you happy? If you ask, right, before saying that, oh Buddha, please teach me Dharma. What Dharma? First tell me, are you happy or not happy? Right? Why do you want Dharma? I'm very impressed by my own teacher. When I was just a teenager, I think about 16 or 17 years old, I went to meet one teacher, a great Buddhist master. And he told me that he's seeing a young boy there when I was in school, before I became a monk. Then he said that, Dorji, if you have no suffering, you don't need Buddhism.
Okay.
Wow, even today, I'm just mesmerized, blown away by this statement. If you have no suffering, you don't have to practice Buddhism.
Yeah, but everybody has suffering in this
Exactly, this is reality. So the first, we have to say, are you happy or not? This is the point. If you're not happy, you have suffering. And keep in mind that this suffering is not your true nature. Your true nature is full of joy and happiness.
Correct.
So why should you stay in this suffering when your true nature is not suffering? This is full, it's beautiful, it's so uplifting.
Correct. You should be.
So then what should I do? You have the suffering, identify the cause of suffering. Right? Okay. Again, the cause of suffering. Then number 3 is, if you eradicate the cause of suffering, automatically your suffering will come to an end. When the oil of the fire extinguishes,
the
fire dies. Your suffering dies.
And the fourth is?
Then the fourth is how to get there. How to remove the ignorance. How to remove the cause of suffering. How to remove the cause of suffering? By following the path.
But it's not, in the first 4, you don't say that desire is the cause of suffering?
So, okay. So what said the cause? I said cause.
The cause is
what's
desire.
The cause? You do not ask me.
The cause is desire, right?
No, cause I will go deeper.
Okay.
Cause, they are, broadly speaking, immediate cause is contaminated karmas. Contaminated karmas, our actions. Yeah. These actions are driven by 3 poisons. 3 poisons: avidya, ignorance, desire, and anger. These are the 2 causes.
Okay.
And these 3 causes within us, we see that which is so predominantly acting us is the attachment. Because ignorance is there. With the attachment, then the anger arises. For example, in the families, right? In the families, cheating, all these things happen because of the attachment. Then the jealousy comes. Then the anger comes, killing happens. Even in on the level of the kingdoms, all these fights were happening because of this. So attachment gives rise to the anger. And then underneath the attachment anger is the ignorance. So these are 3 poisons. These are the causes of miseries. Then if you remove the cause of miseries, then you attain the Moksha or Nirvana. This is number 3. Third number 2, cessation suffering. Your suffering stops. Then how to get rid of the ignorance, how to get rid of the miseries, how to get rid of the cause of the suffering? By following the path. That is number 4. This is the 4 noble truths. Yeah. And the path, what path? Eightfold noble path. Okay, so this is the 4 noble truths. So once you know that, once you this, then from this we see that, so once I know that dukkha, I know that I'm suffering, I have dukkha, I have suffering, and this is not my true nature. I can't get rid of this, and I don't want to stay in this experience. So then you will go to the next cause of suffering, that is cessation suffering, and the path leading to the cessation suffering.
The Buddha spoke about no idol worship, and you don't believe in an idol.
So basically, let's say that for example, say stupas. Stupas are there. And then the idol worship, there's no problem. There's no problem. Idol worship, it is not that we are worshipping just the stone. We are worshipping the metal. No, we are worshipping the cloth on which the painting of the Buddha is done. No.
It's a form.
It's just a physical form. It's a physical form. But the thing is that, for example, those people who are into what you call it, the healing practice, Reiki and so forth, they have very subtle experiences. For example, say that somebody who is really enlightened person. For example, you see His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Many people who have never seen His Holiness, who thinks that His Holiness is just a celebrity, out of curiosity they come and they cry. Seeing him, they cry because they see something in him. So in a way, what is happening is that he is, this is like influence, impact. They say in a loose sense, vibration. I don't want to use this word vibration. So the point is that there's some influence happening on you, seeing him. So likewise, seeing the picture of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, wow, it's so healing to see this picture. It's just a paper, but it has a healing effect on you.
Geshe, it's very beautiful talking to you. But after I talk to you, I realized that this world has so many different beliefs.
Yes.
Correct. On its own, Advaita Vedanta is beautiful. I mean,
Yes.
And what you're saying is also beautiful. Ultimately, we want to be happy.
Yes.
And you know, how do you spell happy?
Happy.
Yeah, I change the spelling of happy. I say happiness Happy. I put 3 P's. Because happiness is not pleasure. Pleasure will come and go. Ice cream will give. And happiness is peace.
Yes.
Peace is the foundation of happiness.
Yes.
But more than pleasure and peace is purpose.
Yes.
So I change. If you want to be happy, you must be Happy. Now, you don't deny what I'm saying. You deny this is the right way.
No, this is perfect.
Perfect, yes?
Perfect.
So I'm saying, but what you said is also very perfect.
Yes.
So there are many perfect things in this world.
Yes.
How can we synergize? The problem is we feel bad, this war, this fighting, people are killing each other. Only because they don't understand what you say, the Shunyata. They don't understand that atomic level, what the physicists call the wave particle duality. The physicists say that there is no world. This whole universe is nothing but energy. What the scientists call grey matter, dark matter, and dark energy. Everything is that energy. And to define God or to come is impossible to define. It is beyond definition and beyond comprehension. That's why the Buddha said, Apo Dipo Bhava. Light your own light. I hope you're familiar with this.
Yes,
term.
yes.
He said, go inside.
Yes.
That's why he said, no need for me to talk.
Yes.
You realize. Like
Yes.
you said, that boy who came and said, I have no misery. Then you don't need Buddhism.
Yes.
So Buddhism is a very beautiful practice. I saw a serial of the Buddha in my awakenings days, those days in my quest, and how he was also a Hindu. Buddha was born as a Hindu prince. But he found that so many caste and creed and so much suffering and death and old age, and then he was awakened. And so many people ask me, let me ask you this last question, very funny question. They said, oh, what Buddha? How can you leave your wife and small child and go in forest? And no, what is this Buddha? Should not be like that. So in a more gentle way, what do you think about people who say like that? Why did he leave the wife? Why he left the child at the palace and go away? So just to end the podcast, give me your thought on this.
In fact, this is a question which many people ask me. Yeah, many people ask me. And before we ask this question, first we have to stay away from the emotions. Be a little calm, be yourself. And then if you listen, then the sanity will come. Your wisdom will come. There's room for the wisdom. It is like, the Buddha, 2,500 years ago. And today, still his teachings, they're so vibrant, so vibrant. So, he left the palace. Why? Out of compassion for the world, not for one family. Not for, this is the cause of all the wars happening in the world. So do you want Prince Siddhartha, who later became a Buddha, do you want him to say, my wife, my son, my family, and then create war with other kingdoms? Or you want him to be seen as the light of the whole world?
I have no doubt about
So the point is that Because of this, he became the enlightened one. He became the Tathagata. Had it been my wife, my son, like this, he will only become another king to fight with another kingdom. Finished. So this is when the sanity comes, then people can think.
To end the whole conversation, unfortunately, the world does not have this sanity. The whole world is living with ego. My house, my wife, when in reality, nothing is going to be mine. Everything is going to be gone. We know it. We can see 20 years later, 30 years later, this is a meaningless existence.
Exactly.
And if only people can get to the meaningful existence, which is what Buddhism is about, which is what Advaita Vedanta is about, to find the purpose.
Yes.
And to be awakened. And to become a Buddha.
Yes.
And anybody can become a Buddha. Like you said, if only we are enlightened.
Yes.
It's not only the Buddha can be Buddha. You are a Buddha. Anybody can attain that Buddhahood. In fact, every human being is meant to attain that Buddhahood.
Yes.
And that eternal bliss and away from suffering.
Yes.
But we live and we die and we just go on in the samsara. I think you have that in the temple, you make that wheel go round and round. So we go around in the chakra, in the samsara.
In fact, because the world is suffering and the world, we see the insanity, the pervasive, we should not be passive. We should not be pessimistic. We should be positive. Do what we can to help others. Help others in different ways. Say, number one, in whatever little way you can, materially you can help others. Do that.
Yeah.
Number two, in whatever little way you can console somebody, heal somebody mentally. Do that. Number three, in whatever little way you can give protection to somebody else. Do that. Most important, in whatever little way you share your knowledge. Knowledge, not imposing, you should follow my tradition. This is not the meaning.
Absolutely.
Say, somebody doesn't know quantum physics, and if you know quantum physics, teach quantum physics. Somebody doesn't know the way to a place. Show this path. And then somebody is lost. How should I decide my life? Give directions. Don't impose your belief. Give directions. A, B, these are the options there, and you, what is your background? These are my background. For you, then there's option A, B, C, D, these options are there. And there, with the option A, there's one person there who's very compassionate, learned. Go with this person. With B, this is, give directions. Show them the light. This is the purpose of a life. So we should be positive. And your podcast can be an incredibly great source of light to let people be aware of this reality.
That is the idea. I want to speak to as many Buddhist monks like you. Maybe you can guide us. But the message is very beautiful. But it's not reaching people in the simple way I would like it to reach people.
Again, the thing is, we should be positive. Yeah. What are you doing? This is amazing. Yeah. Just keep doing what
we keep doing.
We can't expect the world to be perfect.
No, we don't. But as step by step, we teach everybody what they can understand. We teach them that much.
Yes, perfect. And your podcast is a great platform. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. AiR. I really appreciate.
Thank you for patiently listening to the video. And if you have questions, if you want to contact me, just WhatsApp me on 98451 55555. WhatsApp India 919845155555. But if you want to get answers to your questions, then come on Zoom. And the Zoom ID is on your screen. Every day at 8, you will find answers to all the difficult questions of life. See you there.